Good morning, welcome back to my channel and my next video. Now as you can see behind me, I am at the island's fishery. I've got 24 hours ahead of me. I am in swim number 6. I've just drove around the lake and dropped my gear off, and you find me back in the car park, and that is because just over my shoulder I need to go and dip my net, my mat and my sling. Then I can walk this little monkey back up to the swim and commence my session. So as I said, I've got 24 hours ahead of me. I've not fished here for I don't even know how long. I'd have to check my channel to see when my last video was, but it seems like a good while ago. So really excited to get going on this one. Just had a quick look in the swim as I was chucking the stuff out of the boot, and yeah, it looks really good. And I think there might be a chance of a fish or two in there. It seems like every other swim as I've drove back round to the car park seems taken. So it seems like there's not been any pressure in there, and I don't know when the last person that was in there fished it, when they sort of pulled off. So it may have had a little bit of a rest. The pressure may have just maybe pushed a fish or two into that area. We'll have to wait and see, but yeah, I'm raring to go. So I'm just going to go and dip my gear in that, get myself off back round there, and we can start fishing. Peg number 6, Vale View, and as you can see, so much space in here, easily fit my little bit of kit for the next 24 hours anyway. So really nice spacious swim, gravelled sort of front of the swim, in which I knew about anyway from previous visits. So I've brought my tactical pod with me this time, so that it just sits nicely on top of that. But look at that out there. This is what I love about the islands. You get your own bit of water that no one can cast into, no one can affect, anything like that. And the beauty of it is you get obviously cut throughs, you get margins, you get islands, and yeah, there's just so many sort of little features to fish to out there. It gives you so many options, which is the beauty of being able to use 3 rods as well. So I think on this session, I'm just going to keep it really low key, like my last session. Use the baiting pole, which is going to be a really good test for it, because that is, I don't know how far that is over there, but it's further than I fished on my last session. So it's going to be a really good test for that at a sort of distance where I'm going to need to probably be quite accurate. We've got obviously a cut through into swim 5 here, cut through into swim 7 over there. Cut through into sort of 4 and 5 over there, so there's so many options to go at. I'm really looking forward to getting going. So I don't know what that was just down there, but something has just broken the surface, so it definitely looks fishy, that's for certain. And there's definitely no ducks in the area, so it's looking promising. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to getting going. It's just after 7 o'clock, so my session starts now for 24 hours. But yeah, look at that, nice margin here, cut through into that swim, island, cut through, island, nice sort of deep cut in there to that island, cut through into the swim next door, and then this nice little corner bay as well. So I think first things first, get the rods out, get the baiting pole out, probably get the deeper out as well, because I know that there's some sort of hole in here, deeper hole, and I can imagine it slopes up around the island. So I just don't know if there's any shelves or whether it's sort of like a slope down off these shelves. But getting the deeper out on the baiting spoon will definitely give me an idea about what's going on out there. And once I've done it, then I can just pick my spots, sit on them, keep things, like I say, really low key, as less disturbance as possible, and hopefully through the course of the 24 hours just stick a fish or 2 on the mat. solid bag made, couldn't get it made quick enough. The poles for the spoon are laid out. I've done a fair few because I don't quite know how far it is over there until until I've sort of got it out for the first time. I made a fair few sections, of sort of 5 sections at a time. That way I can just keep tabs on how far it is over there, and then just remember it for the next time. And as you would have seen from the previous clips, there are just plumes of bubbles coming out left, right and centre. Literally I could probably do with about 20 rods in here. You know, I don't know how many of them are fish, but there's been a fair few over the back sort of sides to this swim, where that sort of little dip in the island is. So you never know, there may be a few fish knocking around. So let's get this loaded into the spoon, ship it out there, run the deeper over the top with it at the same time, and fingers crossed we may be able to nick ourselves an early bite. Right, well, that is the first rod gone out, and as I was shipping it out, to come across this sort of arch right down on the lake bed there, which is I reckon definitely a fish literally on the deck. And then I pushed it out a little bit further, and then look, another one. You can even pick up the sort of swim bladder just there from the real sort of bright red, literally hugging the bottom as well. Because if you look all the way along, there's obviously this line of blue, you know, just light seal, but all the brightness underneath is from a really firm bottom. So I've got no problems that my solid bag is going to land on that lake bed and it be nice and presented. But that, I've got a feeling, is definitely a fish literally as close to the bottom as it could be. And then that one is 100%, you know, possibly 1 or even 2 fish, but really close together, because you can pick up the red sort of signal there of the swim bladder, because the swim bladder gives a real strong return of the sonar beam bouncing up and down on it. But yeah, that's 100% a fish. So I literally tipped the spoon up and dropped it pretty much right next to it. So that rod is now led upside down while I go and sort the other one out. This is the last rod that I've got to do, so I may as well show you the tactics that I'm going to be using through this session. Now, I'm going to be using solid bags. I just feel like they lend themselves perfectly to these types of venues, setting little traps where yeah, you're hoping that they're just going to come sneaking in your section of water and hoover up the mouthful of bait within them. So yeah, I don't really like to go ploughing these sort of little lakes full of bait. You don't know how much the person before you's put in, etc, etc. So solid bags are just more than enough attraction to yeah, to get you off the mark at least, and then to yeah, keep those bites ticking over, just because there's enough out there for them to get their heads down on, and that's it. So they're not spending ages troughing through loads of bait really. So I just want to come here, nick a few bites and get myself off home. So solid bags lend themselves perfectly to that. Setup wise, I've got exactly the same setup as my last video. So leadless leader, really heavy, will mimic the lake bed down there again absolutely perfectly. Keep everything tucked down out the way. These are heavily pressured fish, you know, they're being fished for every single day of the week, so keeping everything as inconspicuous as possible, tucked down out the way on the lake bed, will only put you know, percentages in your favour. Down to an inline 2.5 ounce lead, so nothing massive, sort of 3.5 inch rig, size 4 wide gape, and obviously pink sea monsters. Now, as always, you know, I have got 6 or 7 different hook bait options in there, so if for any reason the pinks don't work for me, or I just want to chop and change through the 24 hours, then I can do. They're always in my bucket, so it's always good to have, you know, 3 or 4 different options, just because if on any given day, you know, you're getting bites on one certain colour, then you can just chop and change until you start getting, like I say, those regular bites really. So it's always good to have a few options in your bait bucket. But yeah, that is the setup. Really simple. All that's going in a solid bag, as I mentioned. Nice big size 4 sharp hook, lead, leader, and that's all safe. That all pops out really easy. If for any reason there was a problem, the lead will slide up over the knot onto the main line, so there's no problems there whatsoever. That all comes apart with absolutely minimal pressure, and that's what I need really. You know, there's lots of sort of overhanging trees and stuff like that, so if for any reason there was any issues with a snagged fish or anything like that, this is all gonna come apart. Rods out. Now what have I done with each rod? So the first one went out just before the sort of mouth of that channel really, just in and around here where I'd picked up those fish on the deeper. So that one lowered in there, that was around sort of what, over 5 foot. So that one went down, and then middle rod has gone right out under the canopy of the sort of face of this part of the island, with that sun up there beating down into this area, and it being 3 foot underneath the canopy there. It's not, there's like a shelf, 3 foot shelf, and yeah, it's gone out there, which would be perfect for any sort of fish just cruising around the edges of these islands in that shallower water with that sun beating down. That's like the perfect sort of interception point. So the middle rod went out there, and then the left-hander has gone out into the face of this island sort of bay. As I said, there's a load of fizzing back there. Spooned it out, it's gone out there. So just let them sort of settle really for the next couple of hours, sit on them, because there was a lot of fizzing up in here this morning. So I'd like to think that there was some fish in the area. I could try to keep it down to an absolute minimum disturbance wise. They all went out first time, so like I say, it's just now a case of tidying up bloody this lot. It's an absolute bomb site. He's in there having a rest because he didn't enjoy the early morning get up, and yeah, I'm just going to kick back really and see what the next couple of hours bring. I'll probably freshen the rods up around sort of lunchtime, just because they would have been out there then a good sort of 2-3 hours easy. So yeah, let's see what the morning brings, but fingers crossed the effort of just getting them out with the spoon nice and quietly will repay me with an early bite. So just gonna have to wait and see. On the phone to one of the bailiffs at the shop in Coking Farm Fishery to try and secure myself another 24 hours after this session, and the middle rod has gone rattling off. There we go then, what a great way to start. A smidge over £20 and taking on the solid bag, sea monster combination again over on that far margin on that 3 foot shelf just underneath the sort of tree canopy, which got over there by using the spoon. But yeah, look at him, Really nice fish. Pretty much went from left to right. Tried taking off down the entrance to the swim next door, so I managed to tame him on the 10 footers. But yeah, what a really nice fish. Swing it around, show you the other side very quickly. Like I say, it is warm, so I don't want to keep him out for too long. Just quickly show you the other side. But yeah, look at that one. Nice fish. So quickly get some snaps, slip him back, get that rod sorted, and then I might actually be able to phone up and book my second lot of 24 hours. So got the tactical compact bivvy with me for this session. I knew I wasn't going to be moving swims. It's not like I can go chasing the fish around the lake. This is the peg I've booked, so this is the peg I will be staying in for my 24-hour session. So I thought, you know what, I'll have a little bit of comfort. I'll bring the tactical compact bivvy with me. I'll zip the front right off because yeah, it's way too warm to have the front on there, so that's just zip down and just tuck down the side. Tidied up, got everything in there, even though there's like camera gear all over the place, but at least home is set up and I don't have to worry about any of that going on for the afternoon and early evening. I'd rather concentrate on these and trying to make something else happen. So everything's sorted. Probably need to just have a sit down for an hour really and get some fluids down my neck. It's been pretty full on this morning, doing bits and pieces and redoing the rods and stuff like that, and with that wind just coming from sort of left to right, it makes baiting with the pole a little bit tricky. So it's kind of a bit of a patience game. We have to go against the wind and let it drift into where I'm actually dropping it and stuff. So yeah, it's been a bit of a full-on morning, but that's all sorted anyway, so I'm just going to chill out for an hour really. The middle rod is absolutely ramped off and we've got a little scaly one in there, so what I'll do is I'll get the camera and that all set up and we'll have a little look at it. Come on. So then look at that, absolute mint one. Solid bag straight over to the face of that island again. The 3-foot shelf doing the business. Look at him, proper cool. Literally run me ragged out there. I think he covered every inch of water out in front of me, spooking every fish in front of me at the same time. But yeah, what a lovely looking fish. Check him out. He is proper bending double. He is not happy at all. How cool is he? Look at him. Mega scales on this one. Look at him. Another solid bag muncher. Sea monster wafter. Proper angry. Let's get some snaps and slip it back. The right hand rod absolutely rattles off. Now that was over to the island just on my right hand side. I've seen a few fish cruising up and down the island earlier on, and I decided to move it from the tree that was sort of on the corner of the island and move it down to this more sort of face of it. And yeah, it's probably been out there, I don't know, hour and a half I reckon, and it's gone rattling off. Now I'm not one to guess weights on fish, but I reckon this one is possibly the biggest yet. I reckon it's a 20, but don't quote me on that. I will flick the scales on and have a little look in a minute. So let's get him out on the mat and have a closer look. Well then, my guess wasn't bad at all. Literally £20 and ounces, so that's 220 so far and a 16-pounder. But yeah, look at him, proper nice shape to him, little breeze block of a fish, nice and clean, giving me a proper beating on the mat. just as much as he was giving me underneath the rod tip. I just could not get his head up. Solid bag on the 3-foot shelf again, and the rod just hooped round. See if he'll let me show you the other side. Really nice fish, nice and clean, big scale on its top there. But yeah, giving me a good beating on the mat, so I'm going to quickly get some snaps, if it will let me, slip it back, get that rod back out. Happy days.
Oh well, I have absolutely no idea what time it is. I've hardly had any sleep whatsoever, unfortunately. Not because of on the fish front, just can't really get off to sleep tonight. But the left hand rod that was over to the face of that sort of back bay, the only rod that I was waiting for a bite on, has gone rattling off. And we have got in there somewhere just a little common. So I'll get it out on the mat for you and we'll have a little bit of a closer look.
There we go then. So smallest one of the 3 so far, but still a bite off the final rod. And we've got this little common, I don't know, maybe 13 pounds, something like that. Like I say, not as big as the other 3, but still the last remaining rod to give me a bite. So I'm going to slip it back, get that rod made back up. Chances of me getting it back over there with a baiting pole probably pretty slim, so gonna have to give that one a cast, I think. But yeah, happy days, 4th bite, and maybe I can try and get my head down and get some sleep now.
Well, good morning, and yeah, I am absolutely knackered. I don't know why, I just could not sleep last night, and then after having that little common at 2 AM, yeah, I reckon I've probably had a best part of about 2-3 hours sleep. Just couldn't get comfortable, just couldn't nod off. The middle rod just kept beeping, single beeping. There was nothing on the line or anything, so I ended up having that in the dark as well, redoing that. And then, like I say, I had that rod that I had the fish on as well, so I managed to get that back out as well. But yeah, just could not settle last night. It's around 6:15 and I'm just on the pack down now, really. Everything's sort of organised, ready for my next sort of 24-hour stint where I'll be heading off to Coking Farm, Long Lake. So check out that video when that one comes out. So I'm going to keep this the end, basically. I'm going to make this the end, unless obviously anything happens in the next 45 minutes. So it's been a great session. Low double, mid double, so 16 pounder and 220. So yeah, I couldn't have asked for a better 24 hours really. So from me in the islands, thank you very much. It's been a great 24 hours in Peg 6. As always, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I am getting ever closer to those 5,000 subscribers, and there will be a giveaway once I hit that milestone. Don't forget to get in touch over on my social media and all that business. I am going to get that kettle on because I need it, and I will catch up with you next time I am out on the bank.